How's it going, everybody? This is Andrew again. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about an aircraft that you often see if you live on the windward side. It doesn't come around on central or leeward side of Oahu too often. This aircraft's been around for about 50 years now. It's battle proven, it's reliable, it is awesome, and when you hear it, it's just distinct and you know it. This aircraft is known as the UH-1 Yankee, better known as the Huey. It's just a more modern version of the Huey. There's two things about this aircraft that I want to talk to you about tonight, and that's the hydraulics and the flight controls. So first we'll start with the hydraulics. And the hydraulics isn't hard. We're not going to go too in depth on it. We're just going to very lightly touch on it. So there's two systems, system 1, system 2, also better known as primary and secondary. Basically, they run the MRAs, which is the main rotor actuators, and the TRAs, the tail rotor actuator. And they also do the blade folds and the rotor brakes. Excuse me. Basically, what happens is the pilot makes an input into the flight controls, which I'll touch on here in a little bit. They manipulate or assist the pilot with his inputs to make it a little bit easier to get the desired effect. Rotor brakes, it's that simple. It's a hydraulically operated brake to stop the blades from spinning so that the aircraft can shut down without having to wait for the blades to stop. And then the blade fold, we don't use it that often, but it is used when you're trying to fold the blades. So if you're trying to move the aircraft into, like, say a C-17 or whatever, or even if you're just trying to park it in the hangar. Like I said, I don't want to get too far into the hydraulics because the theory and the principles of hydraulics can be very, very complicated. So basically, I'm just gonna leave it like that and say that the components of the system are the reservoir, the filter mod, the pump, and the actuators, and also check valves here too, and that's it. If you have any questions, please, after this speech or after this class, you can definitely contact me and I'll answer as best as accordingly. Next thing I want to talk about would be the flight controls. And the flight controls is basically the pilot's input onto the system to get the desired effect. What I mean by that is when the pilot moves the stick or the pedals or the collective stick, he is trying to get a desired effect. Meaning if he pushes down on the collective, what does that incorporate? Like, what does that change on the aircraft? And this is where the hydraulics comes in play. If there is no hydraulics on the aircraft in general, then when the pilot pushes down on the stick or pulls back on the stick, it is going to be extremely tight, and the odds are that you're not going to get the desired effect because you're not even going to be able to move it because it's got so much force on it. It's going to break a component in the aircraft. That's why we have the hydraulics. It makes it a little bit easier and to manipulate the system and get the aircraft to do what it is that you want it to do. Flight controls is basically, it's just the linkages that are connected from the pilot's input, from his stick or his collective stick or the pedals, all the way to the gearboxes for the throttle controls to even the blades themselves. It runs up the side of the freaking transmission. Very simple. It's not hard. It's not like fly-by-wire. Very, very simple, very easy to understand, and very easy to follow. However, there can be some things that kind of get hard, and that's definitely when you run into like rigging the controls of the aircraft. That can be very hard, and you'll see that with a lot of squadrons. They break a lot of things on the aircraft that are quite expensive. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into that. I just wanted to kind of give you an insight into the things that I think are very important for an aircraft to fly safely. So next time you see these aircraft flying around, know that these aircraft, they're not just going to fall out of the sky. They are very well maintained and very safe to fly in, and they're also very fun to fly in. So next time you see them or you hear that distinct sound, I want you to know and understand what that is that you're seeing or that you're hearing. If you have any more questions, please contact me at a later date or after this speech. Y'all have a great night, and I'll see y'all later.